When I was doing the chemo up in Syracuse, they told me I had to be there right when the door opened at 8 o'clock in the morning. So we left at 6 to get up there in the morning. So on Tuesdays, I couldn't sleep. He couldn't sleep. And except for our last trip up, I ordered him not to drive like he has done, and take his time and all that. I said, I have no rush. And they said, it's the whole 8 hours. Well, I've done in 5. So they bill in Medicare for the 8. Anyhow, see, Gilligan will be on soon. And so on Tuesdays, I wonder if he's awake too, all screwed up. Because I don't have to be there till it just starts at 10:45. And for 4 hours, this one said. That 8 was too long, 5 was too long. And then they made the appointment to do this port. After they set up the first chemo, then they made the appointment. That was the day when they buried the Queen. And then that Friday, they wanted to fool around with my liver, and they did a damn bad job. Anyhow, poured like hell, and I was in the local hospital because they made me sick with all this stress that on that Thursday before, I called an ambulance. They had to keep throwing blankets on me. They had it 82. They thought maybe it was my heart. And I was throwing up and throwing up. I mean, you should have seen the soup I got from this one local place. After I only ate half of it and I threw it all up, I could have put it in a bowl and set it on their table when they set their stuff up to go pick it up. That's how it looked. It looked as if it was still in the bowl. Throwing up, and throwing up. I was severely dehydrated. And then a second time they said I could have gone into seizures and died. It was diabetes, ketoacidosis. Anyhow, they made me sick. I was in ICU from Thursday till I threw a tantrum. They tossed me out. ICU, I think the day of the night of after the Queen. And but the next day I'm throwing a tantrum, and I end up leaving at 10 o'clock. They got the papers and all that. And I told him to stay in the car, so don't move, because they wheeled him out, and then they took me out. I might have been able to walk if I had my Marylson, but I knew I was too weak. But I just couldn't take any more. Anything. Even yabba dabba doo. It's something about white blood. Well, it isn't helping. I'm getting upset. I might as well go home. And when I got home, Dr. Bigfoot, she was a mess. So obviously she does care about me. And she'll stay on the bed with me now. Not next to me, but sometimes she does. But if I'm in my chair, she'll come and sit with me. Anyhow, I'm all screwed up. Maybe I'll fall asleep soon. But my boys here on TV help. That's the funniest show. Anyhow, the local doctor, he put the port in. I don't know how he knew about it. The boy, was that painful when I realized, oh, and there's no way I could have done chemo the next day. Oh, my neck and my collarbone felt like it was busted. But I did show up that Friday in Syracuse. They shouldn't have done that. Because they put this line in the way they did instead of the other way. When it was on the side, it was a little easier. And it didn't look like this mess. Anyhow, maybe I'll have something to drink and try to get some rest. See, this it's now all realigning my everything. But we would be getting ready up, and he'd be starting the car now. He had to finally go get the air conditioning turned off and heat on, because you got to flip some thing. So I think it's possible the same thing with the truck. I'll find that out. Anyhow, I'm gonna have something to drink in a minute. But, and maybe I'll turn it on later discreetly to show the line to the port and how they do it. You can't have anyone in the local one, but up there you could. I had it with that bunch of bullshit. Not a couple of the nurses weren't bad, but on the whole, no, NIDA doesn't have any openings. Well, that day I called and I found out they had openings and they were accepting new patients. You've been lying to me and you've been making me sick. And then you deliberately, originally, any appointment to see this jerk-off doctor was before I would start chemo. All of a sudden, oh no. And so they'd arrange, I'm not driving up the day before and then turning around and coming back. Screw you. You didn't want to come. You should have told me not to do it there. The other one went out of his way. I've got a vile, bitter taste. It's bitter. And I think they should be sued for attempting to, because I found out it might never be able to be removed. They should have left it alone. Anyhow, I call it quits.